What is going on, everybody? Dirt Farmer here, and today is actually Thanksgiving, so I figured we'd do a little bit different video today. So I figured we'd show off what I'm actually thankful for, which is our farm. And so we're going to be doing a little tour today, showing off the farmyard for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoy. We'll start off at the house here and then kind of work our way back towards the coulee. So my grandpa bought this farm along with his brother and my great-grandfather back in the 1950s, and this house was just a little tiny house, and before that it was actually a basement house. So it used to just be a basement with nothing on top, just a little doorway to get down there. And then when they bought it, there was a little piece of the house on top there, and then Grandpa did about 3 more additions throughout the years on the house there. And when I was in college, my grandparents actually called me up and said, well, since you're going to be working on the farm full time, we're going to move halfway to town and you're going to be living in our house. So I'm always extremely thankful for them for giving me a home to stay in so I can do my job every day. Then when we actually kind of head over to the cow pasture here, you can see we got our nice little bale stack there. It's always a fun job trying to keep the deer out of there. So we kind of go through the tree rows here, and that little red house is actually just an old well pump house we sometimes use. And then we've got an old little tiny barn. It's about 48 acres for the cow pasture here. We've got the 2 steers out there right now, and we're actually going to have a couple more steers coming in a few weeks. We got the old chicken coop back here as well. I'm not actually sure the last time we had chickens in there. I'm always kind of checking it, make sure we don't have any other critters like skunks or raccoons in there. And always lots of stuff behind the shop here as well. You know, we got kind of a little hanger for that way if we need to kind of remove engines or anything. Just kind of like to keep everything around the farm. You never know when you're actually going to need something. The first building we're actually going to be going into, though, is our shop, which we got the boss man's camper in here. It's taking up most of the shop, but you guys are going to get to see plenty of the shop this winter in those videos. So make sure you guys are watching the videos and you'll get to see lots and lots and lots of the shop. But yeah, it's not the biggest shop. We can't fit as much as we'd like to in here, but it's kind of got everything we need, so can't complain too much. And it has heat, which is extremely nice in the winter too. But in the winter, this is usually kind of where I spend the most time. It's kind of nice. I can look out the window, keep an eye on the steers, kind of see all the snow and what's going on. And like I said, it's nice having the heat and somewhere to work on some stuff in the winter. Then as soon as we walk right outside of the shop, this is a view I see a lot. Just kind of right out the door, and then usually either over to the house or over to the back part of the yard there, or the American shed. And so this little shed's just kind of an old garage. We keep a bunch of old tires and stuff in there, mower and some other stuff like that. Got all of our nice fuel containers there, and then our new fuel container. If you guys have been watching the videos, you know we bought that just about a month or so ago. And then over to the American, which is our biggest shed we got on the farm here, and kind of our little parking area for the New Holland tractor. But anyways, let's head in here. So when we walk in, we've got our little tiny John Deere tractor, and we've got the big old John Deere combine in here as well right now. So we had to kind of switch up what we were doing for storage on stuff. So now the combine's gonna stay in here in the winter, and we have actually got the service pickup You can see not anything in front of it. And then my grandparents' RV as well is in here. Got some other stuff in here as well. So we actually got another new booster pump for the irrigation pivots. We've got our river screens in here. And then just a bunch of more kind of old stuff in case you ever need it type of thing. When we pop out of here, actually right next to the American shed is our old scale. So this is an old weight scale, and then this is just a little tiny scale house. As you can see, we've just got our nice little old school scale in here, and it's that kind of little marker board with all our bins and whatnot as well. We don't really use the scale much anymore just because it hasn't been calibrated in a very long time, so it's probably extremely off. We've got some of the trucks lined up over there. Say backhoe, sprayer, just kind of other things that we can't actually fit in the rest of the sheds for the winter. Got everything all drained so nothing will freeze on our nice chemical setup over there. And yeah, just all kinds of little different things around this area. Where we're gonna head into next is what we actually call the rabbit barn, because they built this back in the, I think, 70s, and they used to raise a bunch of rabbits in here. They'd raise all the rabbits inside this little tiny shed. Well, I shouldn't call it little. It's small that you can't really get any equipment in here, but it is a huge shed. But for us nowadays, it just kind of holds all kinds of different stuff. And it's been holding all kinds of different stuff for quite a few years. We've got some old tractors in here like this good old Minneapolis Moline. Also got our nice old little Popper John Deere there too. I should actually get this one out one of these days because it does run. So it might need a little going through because it hasn't been ran in a while. But it'd be kind of nice to get that thing out again. But then we've just got some more random stuff, an old boat that doesn't run. And then this thing is actually a big pump. And we had to use it a few years ago when we actually got a bunch of rain. So yeah, about 3 years ago, we had a ton of rain. And then we went into 2 years of a terrible drought. So we actually had to buy this pump so we could actually get out to some of our fields. And then just some more stuff like a snowmobile we got over here. Old project pickup somebody was working on, pivot tires, and more stuff. And after we come out of the rabbit barn there, kind of go into the bin site here, and we'll talk about this old little tiny shed. So back in the 70s and 80s, my grandpa used to be a seed dealer. So yeah, they used to have a bunch of different types of wheat seed they'd sell from the farm here. So this building, you can probably see it in the drone footage, actually has a little kind of port on it so you can actually put an auger in there. And then that way you can kind of just meter out the seed a little bit easier. Then we get into the bin site. So most of these bins are all about 7,000 bushel bins. We do have some little smaller ones around here and then a bunch of the hopper bottoms as well. So a little bit of everything, and yeah, quite a bit of storage just on the actual farmyard here. If you guys watch the videos, you know we do have a few more bins off the farm site as well. Then we have the good old Quonset sitting kind of right in the middle of the yard here. This is usually where we always kept the combine and all the tractors and stuff, but it's just getting a bit too small that our combine just does not hardly fit in here anymore. But we do have a bunch of stuff in here for the winter already. First thing we kind of see is the good old International tractor here. Just kind of save the tires, get it out of the snow and everything for the winter. Say the good old 9280 case tractor. We've got our swather in here. And then behind the swather, we have our actual seed cleaner, and then the big old John Deere 9510R. And yeah, you guys have seen, I think, all of this equipment in some of the other videos as well. We do kind of keep some more stuff in here, like our actual seed treat for when we're cleaning seed and then treating the seed. Then we've got some old pump parts, and we've got a bunch of random bags of different types of seed. So I think we got some chickpeas, lentils, wheat, just all kinds of different stuff in here. And parked right next to the bins, we got the good old Peterbilt with the 50-foot triple axle semi-trailer. And so actually, next week I might be hauling a little grain with this. So yeah, make sure you guys stay tuned for about a week from now, and you might get to see that thing in action. But we'll head on over kind of behind the bins here to some of the old machines we got sitting back here. When you're on the farm, you got to have a bunch of augers. So we got a few different types of augers, and actually when we're hauling some grain, we're going to be using one of these. Probably this one most likely. You know, the red one, you guys have seen that in the harvest video. And then this is kind of our older backup one for loading into the bins. Behind that, we actually have an old corn header. So we have not done corn, well, ever since I've been working here, which has been at least, probably, let's see, what is it? About 8 years now, I think, and 4 or 5 years full-time. So it's been a while, and yeah, it's never been any corn, but we do have one just in case we want to get into the corn business and give that a try again. Then just some more old kind of stuff hasn't been used. We've got this old cultivator here that we kind of use for parts. It's not in great shape. We actually have another one that's almost exactly like this one, but it's actually down at the pivots right now. Say the good old Summers disc, you guys have seen that in a video from about a month or two ago. And then the good old Flexicoil that we actually took out this year, rebuilt it all and used it for fall seeding. We'll kind of head back towards behind the bins there, look at some of the old equipment, and kind of end off over by the John Deere Airseeder. And then back behind the bins here, we got our nice little John Deere mower, another good old little John Deere tractor. It's actually got a little leak. Another one I should get fixed up just because it is kind of a cool little antique tractor we got there. And then we got the good old GMC truck there as well, which, man, that thing just looks sweet. And behind those guys, we've got our pickup header. So if we swath any crop and need to pick it up off the ground, that's what this guy's for. Good old International box drill setup. If we ever need to reseed anything, it's kind of handy having that guy. And then you guys have seen the swather header as well. Then we got a couple older, smaller bins back behind the Quonset here as well too. So we actually use this one a little bit. This one is kind of falling apart, and we really should just tear it down because every time the wind blows, the roof ends up kind of falling apart a little bit more, and we got nails ending up across the yard. We'll kind of just scoot over everything inside the junk pile there, and then just kind of head back and end things off by the John Deere. Way back behind the yard here, we end up at the John Deere Airseeder. So didn't get to use it this fall, but hopefully this next spring you guys are going to get to see it back in action again. So I do enjoy this thing. It's got a lot of moving parts on it, but it does work pretty decently most of the time. Anyways, that is kind of the main yard. So Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you guys want to help me out, the number one thing you can do is share the video, tell your friends and family, anyone that enjoys watching some farming content about what I'm doing out here. So huge thank you to you guys. I hope everyone had an awesome Thanksgiving, and I will see you on the next video.